Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It is too early.
Your mic's not on my bed. Oh, the donuts. Hi.
What's going on?
It's great.
Hello. Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And Saige.
Yes, Anthony.
Last night.
Uh-huh.
She said. But also, last night, Little Witch in the Woods, that cottagecore witch game that we've been waiting for, it dropped on Game Pass. And so I played the first hour of Little Witch in the Woods.
That's one that has been on my Steam watch list forever with no actual release date.
I'm excited to say it's very good and cute.
Good.
I'm less excited to say I have 2 granola crumbs in the back of my throat.
I'm also less excited for you to say that. Yeah, I've been waiting for that one forever, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Lately, Tuesdays are very busy. Those are my Bane's Break editing days, and then Bane's Break streaming days. Bless.
Everybody bless. I'll be right back.
You're crying.
I'll just be right back.
That's okay, everybody. Have any of you played Little Witch in the Woods yet? I'm looking forward to that one very, very much. And 100%, I have nearly bailed on every game I'm already playing as soon as I got a TikTok to let me know that it's out. It's much better than Steam is about actually letting me know when a game releases. And I just get a TikTok in my feed that's like, hey, that game you've been waiting for. The algorithm knows. It's here.
Oh, God, no. How would Steam ever announce that a game is out on Steam to you?
Never. They'll announce to me when it goes on sale.
I get 15 different sale emails. I get none. This game is released. This game is out of early access. I get none of that. Little Witch in the Woods, if you haven't seen it, is a beautiful, pixel art, top-down kind of game where you are a witch who creates healing potions for the tiny little village and forest around you, and it's vibes for days.
Stardew for witches.
It's Stardew for witches, and it's adorable. I will say this: the pixel art is on a level Stardew could never. But Stardew has kind of that simple pixel art. But, Little Witch in the Woods has the way she walks. She does this little waddle, like her robes are almost too big.
So cute.
It's adorable. She's got an enchanted hat that used to be her mom's witch hat when she was a kid.
Very cute.
And the hat has an attitude. Everybody has an attitude. It's very funny. It's a great game, and if you have Game Pass, it's definitely worth checking out if you want a chill wind down at the end of the evening game.
It's also available on Steam if you don't have Game Pass.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been rewatching a lot of the Star Wars.
Yeah, I watched episode 3 yesterday.
Can I tell you something?
You can.
So we're gonna do a whole in review rewatch with Kind of Funny, which I think airs tomorrow or later this week. I forget, but we're doing an episode 3 rewatch, and I'll tell you this: I forget every time until I watch it. Gold star MVP, fucking the GOAT of episode 3 is Ian McDiarmid. Ian McDiarmid is fucking on an 11, and everybody else in that movie is on a 3.5 to a 4. Everybody's doing a great job, but McDiarmid is I am evil, I am Shakespearean, I have got so many, oh my God, every time he does the Darth Plagueis things, and he's just maybe someone could tell you how to bring somebody back.
He's a very, very good villain in a very funny way. That's also very bad and very good.
It's so good. The way he ends every line at this space opera where they're just watching an undulating orb, which I love. Come see the orb. And it's just a drone. It's just come watch the orb that goes, wow, yeah, wow. We're all sitting quietly, pondering our orb.
Of course.
And every line he says at the end is at the end of every line, he does a little eyebrow lift and a turn at the end of every line. And it's okay. I don't know. Maybe Darth Plagueis could help. I don't know how. Maybe somebody knows some things about the Force.
I just want him to.
You could be my apprentice.
He's doing these instead. He has his little old man hands.
He does his T-Rex hands that he does.
Where he's T-Rex hands.
My favorite thing is the way
he could just. Someone could Photoshop it, maybe.
Have you ever watched the Worthy Kids YouTube channel?
Nope.
Worthy Kids is great. They did the thing where the it's this animator who does like amazing work, and he does this thing with the Emperor. And his Emperor just walks with these little hands like this, and is just like, "Oh hey, how are?" And he waddles like this, and he's like, "Hee hee hee hee." And it's
That's the Emperor.
So perfect.
I do have up on my Instagram story from watching it yesterday the thing that I think is the funniest fucking moment of all of episode 3. It is immediately followed by the do it, right?
Yeah.
But right before the do it, 60 seconds earlier in this film, while they're fighting, he goes, "Get." That's all he says, and the caption says "get" with like a dash in it, as if he has been cut off.
But he hasn't. He's just going. Get. His little noises, man. His little noises are so good. When he goes full Emperor mode and he's fighting Windu, and he's doing little hisses. All of his little moves, he does little. Ian McDiarmid fucking crushes episode 3. We do have a lot of big Star Wars news this morning.
Should we open with Star Wars?
Yeah, there was the big Vanity Fair Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
You know, Star Wars Celebration is literally a week from now.
Woo.
Next week I'll be down there with a bunch of wonderful people. We'll be doing the live show again. So if you're not going to Celebration, come watch me and my pals for 12 to 14 hours a day. Do all the Celebration stuff for you. But the big Vanity Fair reveal article came out, and there was tons of new news in it. The first of all being some news that is specifically interesting to us and any Spider Boys that happen to be in the audience.
Very true.
And of course, remember that Spider Boys is spelled B-O-I-Z, gender neutral. Everyone can be a Spider Boy. John Watts, who said, "Listen, I'm not doing Fantastic Four. I got to take a break from these big Marvel things.
Yeah.
I just need a little time." And we were like, yeah, he probably wants to work on something smaller or something that's a little less strenuous. He probably wants to do something, or maybe even take a break.
Straight up break. Maybe he's not going to make anything for a little bit.
Yeah. No. Actually, he is helming a coming of age Star Wars Disney Plus series. This is your young adult tween, like, in the Star Wars galaxy.
John Watts is going to be perfect for this. I'm very excited for this.
I feel like this is going to have exactly the tone I want. I feel like it's going to be probably almost entirely new characters. We might get a couple cameos just to keep audience interest. But
but I think it's an entirely new character.
I think this will be all new, which I'm loving. Its code name for the project is Grammar Rodeo. Grammar Rodeo is an episode of The Simpsons where Bart and some of the kids steal a car and go joyriding. Kids in space stealing a spaceship.
Yeah, I hope it's like punk little kids. I'm gonna hope. I'm just gonna lay out some hopes, not some expectations, but some hopes. One, not on Tatooine.
No Tatooine at all.
Set somewhere other than Tatooine.
Please.
Right? Okay.
Give Tatooine a little rest.
I'm not somebody who's really upset about the Tatooine coverage so far, but give us something else.
Give us a little rest.
I understand. There's a lot of things that go into showing another planet, but please. 2, don't make it a special little boy. I would love no more special little boy Star Wars stories. I've seen them. I get it. I enjoy them very much, but I've had my fill.
Yeah. Well, I want both of those things as well. And Vanity Fair says that the tone is supposed to be a classic Amblin coming-of-age adventure film of the 80s. So this is going to be your Goonies, your E.T., this is going to be a group of kids, I think, that are all
I want
sort of
Stranger
important.
Things Star Wars.
Yes.
I want Star Wars Stranger Things.
Exactly. And it's supposed to take place closely after the events of the Return of the Jedi, which means it will probably be along the timeline of The Mandalorian.
Which makes sense. They're kind of centering around that point right now.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So they don't have to muddy up another timeline or have people worry too much about when things are happening. This is a very exciting announcement, and it comes along with some other Star Wars announcements in the same Vanity Fair article. This was a big old article. A couple other things that we saw was that we've got a date for we know that Ahsoka is going to be coming out in 2023. We know that Andor is going to be coming this summer.
Yes.
Obviously, we know when Obi-Wan is coming. We also got some other announcements. The Rian Johnson trilogy has been put on a hold officially. we sort of knew. We had an idea, an inkling.
Makes me sad.
Huh?
Makes me sad.
It makes me sad too.
I love Rian Johnson's Star Wars.
I was hoping that with like a little bit of separation, people would begin to appreciate The Last Jedi for what it was. And I think we still need a little more time.
And like, look, I'll say it on the internet, I fear nothing. I believe that The Last Jedi is the best non-original trilogy Star Wars film.
I love it so much. It's so good. It's so good. And I was really looking forward. And, you know, Ryan wanted to do a trilogy that had no legacy characters, no connection to other stuff. And I think they're moving in that direction, but they're not quite there yet. You know, even with this John Watts things, setting in that timeline makes me think that, like, maybe a Ranger of the New Republic shows up, right? Like, maybe, you know, maybe even Ahsoka or somebody shows up marginally.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that we're already familiar with. So, you know, they're not quite there. Some other stuff that we learned is that out of all the new films that are coming out, it looks like Taika Waititi's film is probably going to be first out of the gate.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're striking while the iron's hot with Taika Waititi.
Well, here's the thing with Taika Waititi as well. This dude knows how to work within a corporation to, number one, get things done, get things approved, and number two, also somehow do exactly what he wants. Make something feel like a Taika Waititi film. I think some of these other creatives, they have a longer time getting through the sort of the approval processes and the thing of like, well, this has to fit into our timeline and it has to be here. You know, we talk about how the Marvel movies, if you want to direct one, you've got to fit into a lot of puzzle pieces that Marvel has going on.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and I think that's a tough environment, especially for people that already have a lot of other projects going. The vibe that I get from Taika Waititi as well is he needs to have 7 projects going at once, whereas some of these other directors and producers are not the same way. We've got the Kevin Feige film, which, according to Kathleen Kennedy in the Vanity Fair article, is still kind of in the incubation phase, which makes sense. Kevin Feige's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And then old Pajanks, Patty Jenkins, her X-Wing Squadron movie, is very far off, according to them.
Okay. All right.
And Kathleen Kennedy said that they want to move Star Wars. They want to move away from trilogies, and they want to move to constant and persistent storytelling, right? Which is something that I think we saw in Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett was less about Boba Fett, and Boba Fett was more about
the next leg of the story.
Yeah. We want new Star Wars every week. Don't worry so much about what it's called.
Yeah.
You know, I would actually love to see them come to a place in a few years. And remember, this is not me speaking with any inside knowledge or anything like that. This is just what I would like to see. I would like to see them get to the point where there's just a Star Wars show every week on Disney Plus, and it becomes sort of like a sprawling anthology series,
yeah,
right?
I could see that.
Like some weeks we're following these characters, some weeks we're following these characters. Some weeks it's a one-off, sometimes it's a season-long story.
Yeah, see, I would personally prefer, just for the way that I like consuming media, following a character for a more extended period of time. I think there's a point where you can get to, like, I mean, you can argue that Game of Thrones essentially did that as well. You were bouncing around to all of these characters.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer where it'd be like, this season is following this person and this season is kind of following this person.
Yeah.
And how they intersect, but I'm not mad at either option. I'd love to have Star Wars every week either way.
Yeah, I think it's a good time for Star Wars. I really do. I honestly believe, and this is a, I don't know, I think it's a Luke Medium take. I think it's a, but I think getting out from under the expectation and the weight of a 45-year series of films can only be good for Star Wars.
I agree.
You know, the end of the Skywalker saga, regardless of how you feel about how it ended, I think the fact that it is over and we do now get to tell whatever story we want without the expectation of like, but when's the next big one?
Right.
I think that's a huge thing.
I agree. And like personally, my expectations have not been let down by Star Wars. Not everything is going to hit in the same way. But there are a lot of franchises that have had reboots that I look to that I'm just like, yeah, okay. Yeah. And I'm still just as excited for every single piece of Star Wars. And that might just be how big of a Star Wars fan I am.
Yeah.
But it also might be that, like, Disney's been making some damn good Star Wars.
I mean, the television stuff has been phenomenal for sure. I've been loving all of it. You know, somebody in the Lanky Dragoon said, I wish they would get out of the Skywalker era and go High Republic or literally anything else.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I mean, I would love to, with the sort of flexibility of the TV thing and Disney Plus. Why not go to High Republic? You know, why not go to different timelines? Why not go to different, you know, show different things that are going on? You know, one of my favorite things about Star Wars Visions was like, they were just these little stories.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm hoping the John Watts thing, and I'm not trying to put too much weight on John Watts, but I'm hoping the John Watts thing helps us kind of get there where it's like, well, this is a story of 6 kids.
All about how my
life got flipped, turned upside down. But this is a story of like however many kids that steal a starship and go on a joyride during a time of like, during a time of political unrest, but also during a time of unrest during their lives and what they do about it, you know? And their little adventure doesn't have to do, if you're 6 kids in a stolen ship, like the big bad could just be the owner of the ship.
Sometimes I feel like 6 kids in a stolen ship, you know?
I'm definitely 3 raccoons in a trench coat. We also got some big Marvel news.
We did get some huge Marvel news. We got the trailer for She-Hulk. I think we should watch it together.
Let's watch it together as a family. This is, of course, Tatiana Maslany. Calm down. Calm down, Marvel. Marvel, calm down until I'm ready. And Marvel said, no. Absolutely not. Okay, it's doing a thing. Okay, it's doing everything but the thing I want. I got it now. All right, let's do the thing.
God, this is really refusing to pause.
Just really is.
Being a superhero is a trial by fire.
So we start off with some Bruce Banner.
It's not people like you.
And then
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer. I have great friends.
Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency.
A demanding job.
We just started
I
a
love
superhuman law division, and I want you
Gina
to
Rodriguez
be
is so
face
good
of
in
it.
everything. Now that
And a frustrated
Tim Roth,
family.
Because we didn't ask for this.
the Abomination,
We still gotta deal with it.
is still canon, and he's in this series.
Yeah.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
So I'm putting together, she get the car crash, the injury, to help her. Bruce kind of
Turns her
into a Hulk because she's got his genes.
Yeah.
I love this thing where it's like, we're gonna test your fear, and she's like, you do not.
Can you tell us where She-Hulk is?
Jen, you're a story now.
Now,
I have a bunch of questions and a bunch of comments, but I'm going to wait until after the trailer, essentially, to serve them.
I like that you'll like her when she's angry.
Avenger.
Yes.
It's a good.
Superhero.
And I I have not read the She-Hulk comics, so I'll like preface with that.
I love it. Superheroes. That's for billionaires and narcissists.
I did love that.
And for some reason, adult orphans.
Yeah.
That's such a good line.
That is a great line.
Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
Yeah, this is the best date I've had in a while.
Oh.
Should we split some fries?
Now, I do love that shot.
I love that shot. Okay.
Okay.
So I have some thoughts and opinions on this. This is a series I was extremely looking forward to.
Yeah, same.
The trailer didn't land for me personally. And I have a few reasons that the trailer did not land for me.
Sorry. So first of all, both of us, I think, believe CG is a little underbaked. Right?
Yes. The CGI was rough to me.
Little underbaked.
I just think that the amount that they've put into making Bruce Banner's Hulk, they maybe could have given to She-Hulk.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's because those are new effects. She-Hulk is new, and they're still tweaking. Like, particularly the hair. I don't think they've ever done, like, long hair like that. And they're trying to get her, like, comic book flowing giant mane, and it looks weird.
And I get that. But Marvel has a history of half-assing women's stories.
Yes.
And this, to me, says you're once again half-assing a woman's story. I think that the humor hits on a weird, like, Sex and the City level where I'm just like, is this all you think that women care about? They're like, we're making a story for the ladies. We're going to cater to the girlies. And I'm just
very like,
guys, settle down.
Mid-2000s CW, like Ally McBeal. Like, they're clearly
Is
like...
there anything worse than dating in your 30s? You literally have superpowers. And I get the like idea of making that joke in the comparison that clearly there are much worse things, and somehow dating in your 30s is even worse. But this continual perpetuation of the idea that a woman being single in her 30s is the worst thing you can be, I find very offensive and shitty.
Yeah. Now She-Hulk, the comics have always sort of been wink wink self-aware. The dating was always a big part of it. I'm She-Hulk, but I can't get my life together because the superpowers don't help my personal life, and they actually only make things more complicated because some people, her identity is public, so some people are like, we don't like you, we like She-Hulk, you know. And so there's a lot of that going on. So it's faithful to the comics in that way, but that humor could certainly be updated, and
Exactly.
the style of it could be changed. I'm hoping,
And we do it for the male heroes.
yeah, and I'm hoping that what we see there is the goofiest, most over-the-top bits of it. I hope that that's kind of the silliest parts.
And I want it to be funny. I get
Yeah.
that tonally this should be funny. I just think the humor could stand a little more effort put into it. I just like that the first thing we saw of her was her ass.
Yeah.
And I don't like that she doesn't have any muscle.
The male
They just made her bigger.
she's very ripped, but she's not big. Like she's big,
just,
but
she's Lady Dimitrescu big though.
yeah. Like when she's next to the Hulk,
It's more
she should be almost comparable, at least height, to the Hulk.
and she should have muscle on her. They animated almost no actual muscle on her.
Yeah.
She is more lady shaped than Hulk shaped. It was more important that she was able to be viewed as a woman shaped person,
Right.
quote unquote, than as like a Hulk. Yeah. And like, look, there's a little definition when you like pause and freeze frame on that, but are you kidding me? Her arms are tiny.
Her arms are tiny.
Her
Like
arms are
Hulk,
tiny.
like she should be bulky as all get out. Like she should have like almost like an MMA fighter.
Right. Like,
you
why
know?
does she have to have a tiny waist?
Um,
Ugh. I don't know. This trailer really didn't land for me, and I
Yeah.
was very sad about it.
and in the comics they do hit on like all of that stuff. They make we'll see what they do with it, but the trailer, yeah, I could have used a little more showing that they've updated the humor,
Right.
because the whole deal was that She-Hulk was created sort of as a tongue-in-cheek parody to a lot of TV that was popular at the time, your things like LA Law, your 80s primetime soap operas. And so it was like, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it with a superhero.
Right.
And of course, throughout the decades, they have updated that, but it's always been, there's a group of what like I refer to as the Marvel comic book universe hot messes.
Mhm.
And the hot messes are like Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk,
Yeah.
Spider-Woman is in the hot messes, like Captain Marvel is sometimes in the hot messes, and they're just like obviously Jessica Jones is there, and they are like this group that hangs out together. They're there for each other, and
Yeah.
they're like more regular and more like trying to get their lives together because they've had actual human issues. And I'm hoping, it feels like a lot of what we saw in this trailer is very first episode, act 1 and 2. I'm not seeing a lot of late series stuff. I'm hoping they get this.
Agreed.
I'm hoping all of that dating stuff is like that looks like it's all in one montage, hopefully.
Yes, and sure, but you know, if you're gonna set it up in the trailer, you're setting it up as a fundamental part of the series of, is there anything worse than dating in your 30s?
Yeah.
Ugh. Natalie, I agree. There's a lot of people being like, Natalie Portman is more ripped than She-Hulk.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman put on more muscle in real life than
Yeah.
they put on the She-Hulk in CG.
Yeah.
That's freaking wild.
I would also love a Jessica Jones cameo. I think this would be an incredible place to bring Jessica Jones back in. I think that would be phenomenal.
Oh my god.
I think that would be perfect. If she's going to be the face of this, like, you know, essentially mutant division.
Oh my god.
Represent Jessica Jones getting into trouble. Come on.
I love that. And you know, like that's one of the things that we were talking about with the Defenders and the Netflix buyout too, is like, I would love to see Jerry Hogarth.
Yeah.
I would love to see Jerry Hogarth come back as a lawyer that they have to like be against in court.
Right.
You know? I think that would be wonderful, and it would be a great way to also bring the Defenders back in if you wanted to. If you wanted to, we could redo Iron Fist, but like we could bring a couple of the Defenders back, right?
Yeah.
But I want this series to sort of stand on its own. A couple of like quick things that we got.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. This is Jamila. Jamila's Titania.
Yeah.
Titania is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel comics.
And I love her as an actor and also just as a public figure.
Yeah, she's amazing. Titania. Ooh. Now she's another one that should be like jacked.
Yeah.
But I do love kind of the look that they have going on for her here. One of the other things that we saw real quick, Eugene is there.
Little Frogman.
The Frogman. We're getting live action Frogman. Frogman. Poor sweet Eugene. Really believes he's a superhero.
Yeah.
Just really believes he's a superhero.
Real kite man of a guy.
Yeah, he becomes a vigilante to make up for his father's crimes. He hangs out in Spider-Man a lot. He's one of those characters. He's almost like a Gladstone Gander in DuckTales kind of type, where it's like he's just fucking lucky. Like Eugene becomes a superhero because like he just sort of is always in the right place at the right time and things go his way.
Yeah.
And it deludes him into thinking that he's a great superhero, which is a great person to put in a She-Hulk series.
Yeah, and that's very, very funny. Froggy Toads, I agree. Said, I love her so much. This photo does look a little Disney show villain, though, and that bothers me. I agree. The photo of Jamil's character did look a bit Disney Channel villain.
It's a little Leg Avenue. It's a little...
Here's the thing that I think makes these... It puts a lot more weight on these for me, and I wish I didn't have to have so much weight on, female heroes.
No,
they shouldn't have to.
No, I get what you're
But
saying.
we literally have to. And the thing that these larger studios continually do is they release something surrounding a female hero.
Mm-hmm.
They half-ass the film. They half-ass the marketing. And then they go, see, it doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
We're just going to have to tell another man's story because the people just aren't really here for women as heroes.
But yeah, and I think Marvel's been trying to, with their last few projects, they've been trying to change that, at least perception of themselves, if they have not been changing what's going on internally. I think Hawkeye was very good, and I think Kate was done extremely well.
But if you name the series after a man, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed if you make it about Jeremy Renner and then you go,
Sure.
Quick swap, now it's about the younger women.
Sure.
Younger woman here.
We have
right?
we also have Miss Marvel coming up, which hopefully will be great.
Which looks incredible. The trailer for Miss Marvel I have 0 notes for.
I still have not seen Multiverse of Madness, but I know that people are very...
America Chavez fucking owns.
But I know that people are very split on sort of what's going on with Scarlet Witch. I don't know much about that yet because I haven't seen the series, or I haven't seen the movie, but...
I enjoyed the hell out of Multiverse of Madness.
So hopefully Marvel is this trailer hit for me about 90%. It hit about 90% for me. There are a couple of like you were saying, a couple of the gags for me were like a little 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
A little of the look of her was like a little off to me. But I'm hoping that 10% is just trailer and not the actual series.
Yes, I understand that Hawkeye is a title that other people take on, but they marketed it as Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye show is the point. Keep up.
Yeah, that's the thing is
Keep up. You know what I'm talking about.
So and the thing is they have the right team working on it. You know what I mean? They've got Jessica Gao is the head writer on the show. That she was a writer on Silicon Valley and Rick and Morty, and then Kat Coiro, who did the series Marry Me, which is an extremely funny show. Only ran for a season, but was very hilarious. And then Anu Valia, who's done a few award-winning short films. It's a predominantly female crew, predominantly female cast. I'm hoping that this trailer, the things that we didn't like, were marketing decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they watched the trailer at home and they were like, oof, a couple of those moments. You know what I mean?
It's just that slipping through the cracks is something that uniquely happens to us, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm staying optimistic because the Disney Plus stuff thus far has been pretty has been pretty pitch perfect, at least when it gets to series.
Right.
I will agree that some of the marketing on some of the shows has not been great, but I think once they got to series, they've all been pretty good. In other Marvel news, Loki was officially the most watched Disney Plus show. I'm not surprised.
Disney Plus Marvel show.
Yeah. Disney Plus Marvel show. I'm not surprised.
I'm actually a little surprised.
Are you?
Yeah. I loved the Loki series very, very much. But I was surprised that it was number one. I felt like discourse-wise, and obviously this is going to be like a bit biased based on the community that I exist in.
WandaVision.
But I thought it would have been Wanda.
WandaVision definitely had the most marketing and I think the most kind of buzz and hype around it, just because it was the first Marvel DC show, or first Marvel Disney Plus show.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's my favorite of all of them.
Yeah, Wanda fucking owns.
I think it was amazing. But I'm just not shocked because of the internet loves Loki.
Yeah.
The world loves Loki. The world loves Tom Hiddleston.
As the world should.
And he was one of the most beloved characters in the MCU.
Right.
You know, more so than I think, unfortunately, Wanda and Vision had at that time.
I can't imagine why.
But also it's just good. It's got that real good big budget Doctor Who vibe that I really love about it. It's got a cool look. It had, as far as the pacing of the show, I would not be surprised to see that some of these Marvel shows have had drop off midway through the series.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Loki, if you watched Loki, you watched it all the way through. I don't think anybody kind of felt.
Do you think there are people that didn't finish WandaVision?
I think there are a few people that probably watched the first episode and said, not for me.
I can't imagine those people's interest.
I can't imagine it, but I could see it.
No, I could see it.
Loki
I have opinions on those people.
Sure.
That we're already talking about here. It's fine.
But here's what's great, though, is WandaVision was number 2.
Yes, WandaVision was number 2. Loki was 5.23 billion minutes watched, followed by WandaVision at 4.8 billion minutes watched.
Now, I think some of that also had to do with the fact that Disney Plus has just been gaining steam and subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like more people probably joined on for Loki than WandaVision, or because at that point they were like, there are a few Marvel shows now.
Yeah.
Right? There are a few Marvel shows. If I'm a Marvel fan, it's worth signing up. And so I think that kind of happened. Number 3 was Falcon and the Winter Soldier with 4.15 billion, which I think was a very solid series. It had a lot of great moments, but I don't dig on the military aspect of the MCU.
Yeah, it wasn't for either of us. I watched the pilot and I went, all right.
It did some very cool things. It introduced some great characters, and but it just wasn't entirely my thing. Now, Hawkeye was obviously my shit. I was waiting for Hawkeye. Don't like the MCU Hawkeye. I do love the David Aja, Matt Fraction comic book Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love Kate. So this show is definitely for me. I could see why it didn't, once again, kind of garner as much. A few people were like, I know a lot of people said, I don't really want to see a Hawkeye Jeremy Renner series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were like, this looks a little corny. I don't need like another Christmas weird series. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. And I think it deserves a lot of love, despite the Renner factor.
I haven't watched it because I dislike Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye that much that it's just like one of those things that just keeps getting pushed to the bottom of my list because of it.
Yeah.
I will watch it eventually, but there's so many shows coming out constantly that it just can't take priority when Jeremy Renner is there.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I think what'll probably make you watch it, the moment you'll go back and watch it is you'll probably do it right before Echo comes out.
Yeah.
Because they released the first production shot of Echo, and it looks, it wasn't much of anything, unfortunately.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to Echo. And she is great in Hawkeye. So that's the big Marvel news. There was a lot.
Yeah, we did our Marvel, we did our Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, good morning, Omar.
Hi, good morning to Omar. Should we jump into some gaming
Let's
news?
get into some gaming news. Let's talk about Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, so Dead by Daylight had their 6th anniversary live stream. They announced a bunch of new stuff, but one stuff shined above all the other stuff.
Of course it did. We love a dating sim in this house. Dead by Daylight's Hooked on You. Now, this is something I've had my eye on for a hot minute here because there was some initial trailer work for it that was just basic animations that didn't show us much. And the thing that I questioned and there was no real confirmation on was it going to be official? It seemed more like it was just a fan make.
But it is official, and it's made by the same team that made I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
And if you have not played the dating sim, I Love You, Colonel Sanders, it's one of the greatest dating sims ever made, and I will not be taking any questions on that.
Yeah, they also made they made a couple other dating sims too. They're very good. They're very fun and funny. The visual novel tasks would-be lovers to flirt their way into the hearts of 4 killers: the Wraith, the Spirit, the Huntress, and the Trapper.
Fuck yeah.
Through choice-driven conversations, you'll forge friendships or steamy relationships with these monsters to learn their personal histories and uncover broader stories of what got them there in the first place.
I genuinely, deepest in my core, love how horny the Dead by Daylight community is. Not all of them. Absolutely doesn't apply to everyone. But there is a section of the Dead by Daylight community that's so horny for the killers. And Dead by Daylight saw that and then went, oh, okay. All right, I got you. And then started making hotter killers.
I love that. And I love, because there's also something fun about just the idea of, it's like all of us simping for the tall vampire mommy. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a safe way to simp for dangerous people. And it gets that inclination out of your system in a fun way where you can joke around about it. And I just love it.
They really heard people just taking the scraps, honestly, of what they had already in the game and said, okay, then.
The K-pop killer.
Then have this.
Murder me. Murder me, they said.
Dead by Daylight wants you to say, murder me, daddy. And they're making it very easy.
You got the trailer. It's just a quick one.
Yeah.
But this is...
Hell yeah. Start on the beach episode. I love it. It's the best part of any dating sim.
I just, this is good.
Absolutely. I'll be streaming at Nightcrawler.
I like when a company can be a little silly. Why is the Huntress bigger than She-Hulk?
Yeah, hey, Marvel. Hey, Marvel, take notes.
Why is the Huntress bigger than She-Hulk?
Hey, Marvel, take notes. And also, take notes of the fact that it's a very 2002 idea that people only want to see very skinny women. I would love a woman that can crush me with her bare hands. Are you kidding me? If your concern is that you want me to want to fuck the She-Hulk, then give her some goddamn muscles.
How, on the same week that you release Thor's arms next to Valkyrie's arms, do you think that we're not ready for a solidly built She-Hulk? And that's not what we want. Anyway.
Hi, Huntress.
I love it. Wraith in his matching Hawaiian print is like, the spirit. Okay, well, you know who we simp for in this room. You know our type in this room. I love this, and I love when a company is willing to have a little fun like this with their characters.
I'm so glad.
And with their IP, you know what I mean? It's be a little silly with it. As long as the main game still has the vibe of the main game, do whatever you want with the other stuff.
The fact that other companies aren't doing this, like the fact that Resident Evil didn't catch on.
Dude,
the fact that Resident Evil didn't give us
here's the thing.
A dating sim.
If Capcom Japan had made a dating sim based on Resident Evil, it would have been just a very serious Japanese visual novel dating sim that would have been a little creepy and ooky. You know what I mean?
I'm still in.
Still
a dating sim?
No, but I mean creepy and ooky in that anime way that you don't like.
No, because all these characters are adults.
That's true.
You're working with adult characters.
That's true.
The baseline, not just in a way that I don't like, by the way.
No.
Let's adjust that to everyone agrees that people in dating sims should be of age.
Yeah. No, 100%.
We all agree.
No, I'm just saying when I was trying to explain the way that it would be ooky, because
I don't know.
I don't know that.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Lady Dimitrescu is certainly old enough.
I just feel like it would come off like DOA beach volleyball if Capcom did it. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's possible.
I'm afraid of that DOA beach volleyball. Like, I don't think they would understand the humor of it in the same way. In other big gaming news, Fall Guys had their live stream as well.
Yeah.
Fall Guys had a big live stream, the state of Fall Guys, and the biggest news is that Fall Guys is going free to play. That's the biggest news. It's going free to play. It's also coming to the Xbox and Switch. It will, however, be leaving Steam, which makes sense because Mediatonic was bought by Epic Games last year.
That's right. I forgot about that acquisition.
So if you own the game on Switch, you still own the game on Switch. They will
On
simply
Steam.
or on Steam. You will still own the game on Steam. They will simply no longer be selling new copies on Steam.
All right.
But it will be coming to every other platform basically, and it's going to have cross-play and cross-progression on every platform.
Which is very cool. That's a great upgrade.
It is huge, especially on the PlayStation side.
Mhm.
Basically, Epic Games and Fall Guys are basically, they're using the muscle that a lot of other companies don't have to make PlayStation give something up that they normally don't give.
Right.
Which is great.
Do you think there's a Fall Guys resurgence coming?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Well, because number one, free to play.
Yeah.
I think a big thing, Fall Guys had no problem selling by any means, but I think the people that didn't buy Fall Guys didn't buy Fall Guys because they thought it was free to play. I remember seeing Fall Guys come out and I was like, "Oh, this is a free to play game where you buy little costumes for your guys."
Interesting.
And then when I heard it wasn't, I was like, "Oh, even better," because I'm a big fan of not free to play. But I think free to play and Switch especially are going to bring in tons of new players.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's going to bring in a lot of new players, I think, is going to be the level designer.
Yeah, I think that'll be really fun.
Custom levels. Custom levels is at least going to get that community excited, the kind of tinkering community, and it's going to bring a lot of streamers back in, I think.
You think?
Let's look at the weirdest Fall Guy levels, the toughest Fall Guy levels.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to do that sort of thing. That's a big hook to kind of get it back out into the world.
Aw, Ronan in the live studio audience said, I was sad because I bought Fall Beans right as all my friends quit playing.
Yeah, it just sort of, it dropped like that.
It did. It went from like really, it was everything everyone was playing to nothing. Was it Among Us?
It had to have been Among Us.
It was Among Us that did it, right?
It had to
It's
have
a
been
blurry
Among Us.
time for all of us, but I think it must have been Among Us.
Yeah. Do you think I have any memories of the last 2 years? I think that it's sadness and fog.
And Phasmophobia. That was the other one I was going to say as well.
Yeah. Let's see. They also have more. They have a new season coming. Obviously, there's going to be season passes now that it's free. Seasons are going to include new levels. It looks like obstacle courses, a volleyball game, a racetrack, and some sort of like arena. Season 2 is stadium themed. That's kind of cool.
That's fun.
New costumes for the season, and a Golden Gladiator outfit. And then they're also doing some more collabs. They're going to have an Ezio costume. They're going to have a Pusheen costume.
That'd be pretty cute. That makes sense. A little Pusheen bean.
And a Godzilla costume, which I thought they already had.
They had a dinosaur.
They had something. They had some licensed kaiju-y thing. I'm trying to remember what it was. And then by June 21st, you'll be able to convert unspent crowns into kudos. And then a new currency called Showbucks will be introduced as well. We've got 3 economies going now. It's a free-to-play game for sure.
Like that part.
Get all the economies going.
I could get back into Fall Guys. I was never good at Fall Guys.
I'll tell you.
I never played enough to get good, and I don't think I ever won a single crown.
It's the one level. There was the one level with the obstacle course mountain, and I never figured out the timing on the sticks that spin this way, and you've got to jump over. And because you can't practice, or you couldn't practice a level at the time, I was like, fuck it, I'm never going to get a crown. I think that's the other thing, too, is every time I saw that level come up, I was like, well, I'm out.
I also, when you're playing with your friends and only one person gets the crown, that did make me a little sad, because if my friend and I were racing for the crown and we were the last 2 people, I would stop.
Yeah,
I'm very soft when it comes to video games with my friends, and I would be like, get the crown, and I could not push past a friend to get a crown.
At the end, you'd be like, oh, my shoe's untied.
No. Sorry, I dropped my controller.
Oh no, I guess you win, and I guess we're all happy. Yeah, I was never really, well, no, I guess there were a couple times when that level didn't come up that I was in that position.
Yeah, I made it to
all.
the top 2 a decent amount.
Yeah.
I just, look, my favorite place to be in any competitive game is in second place. I like the confidence of performing well, but not the attention of performing the best. That's just how I live.
You've chosen interesting career paths.
I know. I'm a performer that can't watch myself on camera.
Fall Guys will, all this stuff is coming, when is this coming? Soon. End of the month, I think. It's like free to play now, and then the new season is coming next month, I believe. So that's very exciting. In other exciting video game economy and currency news.
Okay. Yeah, that's a whole segment, of course.
We have a list of everything you get for the 3 different tiers of PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation looked at what you currently pay for and said it could be more, both in money and games.
Yeah, it could be more. It's like, oh, you're going to give me more? Yes, but
could...
you could also pay more for it. So if you're PlayStation Plus Essential, which is what we all are until we upgrade, you still get all the stuff that you normally get. You get the PlayStation Collection if you have a PS5, which is those like greatest hits games like Uncharted and Final Fantasy and that stuff. And then you still get your 3 games a month, right?
So your 3 games for May are FIFA 22, Tribes of Midgard, and Curse of the Dead Gods.
Now, if you get PS Plus Extra, you get all that stuff, and then this catalog of PS4 and PS5 games that you can also download at any time. It's basically a secondary collection that you have access to. There's some good ones on there. Obviously nothing too new, but these are all good games, and if you haven't played them, they're definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's a pretty good collection. I didn't want to spend money at the time on any Assassin's Creed games. Wasn't giving money to that company, so Assassin's Creed Valhalla is on there.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Knight.
Sure.
A very, very fun game.
Bloodborne, obviously huge. Days Gone.
Far Cry.
Days Gone was pretty good. Death Stranding, Demon Souls. There are big ones on there. And some of these are the ones that are already on the, for whatever reason, they listed some of the ones that are on the Essentials collection anyway. So like, some of these you're going to get, but like,
Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yeah, and you get like the Loco Roco games, which are fun, and Patapon, and there's some good stuff, right?
If you've been waiting up to this point to play South Park and the Stick of Truth for some reason, here it is.
Here it is.
Of course, you got all of The Last of Us. That's not surprising. Uncharted, not surprising. Until Dawn, great.
Now, then you get into the premium, which is going to have that PS1, PS2, and PS3 games.
This also has
this
redundancies
this is premium, not deluxe.
You see what I mean?
Hold on. Yeah.
They made it so complicated.
Yeah.
Look, I play video games for a living. I'm willing to put money into video games. You just have to tell me how much to pay, and if you put too many options in front of me, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm already bored.
Yeah, this is too many. It's a lot.
Just tell me how much of my money you'd like to take.
The nice thing about the way Game Pass works is it's based on where you want to play, right? And that's understandable. Do you want to play on just your Xbox? Do you want to play on your Xbox and your PC? Do you want to play on your Xbox, your PC, and your phone when you want to stream stuff? That's understandable.
Yes.
This is a lot of different, and Sony does this. Sony has like so many different tiers of everything. So the PS Premium / whatever, you get a collection. It's eventually supposed to be something like 400 games. This is the thing that is most comparable to Game Pass for them. And you get a lot of PS1, PS2, PS3. The Ape Escape games are on there. BioShock, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, the Dark Cloud games.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Devil May Cry collection, Enslaved. Like, it's a lot of good, like, classic PlayStation games. MotorStorm Apocalypse, which is one of my favorites.
Hot Shot Golf.
Hot Shot Golf, sure. Tokyo Jungle. There are a lot of good deep cuts in here. I don't think this has currently the draw of a Game Pass to me.
I agree. I don't think it's there. I think it's a little late to start trying to get there. I understand that it will absolutely expand from here. This is literally the launch of this service. But when you're launching this service 2 years past...
There's a little thing in my water.
When you're launching this 2 years after Xbox, and Xbox has had 2 years of developing their service, it's going to be very difficult to catch up.
Yeah. But on a level, they have to, though, right?
They literally have to try. I just wish they had started trying earlier, I guess.
The thing that's gonna hurt them is that they are not trying to catch up in terms of new releases.
Right. They really want this to be a back catalog thing.
If it's not the 3 games that get added to PlayStation Plus like they've always done, they don't want to add kind of newish games to this because PlayStation's gone on record. They say we're not going to race people to the bottom of the pricing barrel.
Right.
Because
also,
that hurts everyone.
I have notes on these names.
Yes.
PS Plus. PS Plus Essential. PS Plus Extra. And then PS Plus Premium.
Yes. Listen, from a company that
bronze, silver, gold.
From a company that still names their cameras a series of oblique letters and numbers.
Yeah.
This is actually really good. I'm shocked it's not PlayStation Plus Mark Alpha 124968 -B. You know what I mean? That's the way Sony names things. But yeah, this is I think it's not the most confusing thing in the world. I'm not gonna be like the person on the infomercial that's like, I can't carry all my kitchen stuff. It's so hard. But I will say that this is not as transparent and easy to understand as just like the Xbox question of where do you want to play this game?
If they put those My Hero Academia games on, is it PlayStation Plus Ultra?
PlayStation Plus Ultra. So there you go. In other gaming news, we've got Bloober Team coming out about the Silent Hill 2 rumors. The Silent Hill 2 remake, of course, is not official, but we did get a leak.
We did.
Over the weekend that showed off it's coming, and a lot of people are speculating that it is Bloober Team. Now, this rumor has been around forever.
The title of their studio is an ick word.
Bloober? You don't like it?
I hate it.
Bloober. Team CEO said, we can't comment on anything we're doing because we appreciate our relationship with our partners, of course, so we can't say anything. We will make an announcement about our future projects as soon as we can, so then you will know much more. And then the article says, chuckling, he added, officially.
So, like, yeah, obviously they're working on the Silent Hill 2 remake. I also think it's very funny that it isn't just, like, we respect our relationship with our partners. It was we appreciate our relationship with our partners, as in we do not want them to go away.
Yeah.
We really like having work, and we would like to keep having work. So we cannot officially
But nobody likes working for Konami.
Fair.
We know that. Historically, nobody likes working. Ask Mercury Steam how that turns out. Nobody likes working with Konami. So that whole thing we appreciate, and we can't say anything officially. It's like, come at me, Konami Legal. We're too far into this thing for you to get rid of us now. I think it's pretty interesting.
I think that was a good goof they got.
Yeah, you know, this is Bloober Team has made, of course, Layers of Fear, Observer, Blair Witch, The Medium. These are, you know, low to mid-budget projects. Medium was their first bigger budget project. Did not do as well. But I think that I also think that had a lot to do with just shortage of consoles and new hardware.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But I'm excited to see what they do with Silent Hill 2 because apparently they is doing something. In other financial news, who's working on what? Take-Two had their financial report. We've been getting these trickling in over the last few weeks as the new fiscal year has been ramping up. And Take-Two Interactive is going to be releasing over 30 games by 2025, they say.
I'm of the opinion, I think maybe too many, Take-Two.
30 games. Now,
Like Take-Two owns everything.
yeah.
So obviously that's a huge collection of studios to come from.
But, and they are saying these aren't all AAA games, obviously.
Right.
You want to talk about something that's, you want to talk about how confusing the PS Plus tiers are.
Woof.
Let's talk about how Take-Two organized their upcoming titles in their financial report. First, you've got Immersive Core. Then you have Independent. Then you have
Of course.
Mobile. Then you have Mid-Core. Then you have new iterations of prior releases from the core. What? I'm sorry. What? We now have an official chuckle that you can redeem.
Sorry, that's what I was doing.
It's unofficial, but it is an official chuckle. So, Immersive Core. They're developing they're developing something like 24 games in total in Immersive Core. Not all of those are the ones that are coming out by 2025, but things that we know are coming according to the document. We got Marvel's Midnight Suns, of course, later this year. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Same.
Kerbal Space Program 2 in early
Which got delayed.
early 2023 now. And of course, your 2K titles, NBA 2K, PGA Tour 2K, WWE 2K. They're also working on 10 independent games, 20 mobile games, and 7 mid-core games.
What does it mean when Take-Two Interactive does an independent game? You know what I mean?
I believe that is I believe that is the purchase and distribution of the publishing and distribution of a game developed by an independent studio.
Okay.
So they're acquiring these games
All right.
or funding these games
Publishing.
from independent studios. Yeah.
All right.
The mid-core games, the only one that they listed was Tales from the Borderlands. So that's considered what they would consider mid-core.
Interesting. So if Tales is mid-core, which actually, I mean, in comparison to a full Borderlands game, does make sense.
Yeah, so mid-core, they say, is either an arcade title, like WWE Battlegrounds, so something that's more kind of like easy arcadey gameplay, or games that have many hours of gameplay, but not to the same extent as they're trying not to say casual, I think, because they don't want to say that Tales from the Borderlands is a casual game, even though it's a point-and-click adventure game.
Right.
So they're calling it mid-core.
Okay.
They're
calling it mid.
They're saying that their games are mid at best. They're saying WWE Battlegrounds mid at best.
Mid.
That's a
Kinda
lot of
mid.
games. That's a lot of games, and it's not a ton that I'm excited for.
No, I'm excited for Tales from Borderlands.
Mhm.
That's the one for me, and then obviously the Star Wars game
Yeah, I'll
or the Marvel game.
the Marvel game.
My brain blanked.
Yeah.
I read Star Wars on a spreadsheet.
I'll dick around with
Not that there's a
I'll dick
spreadsheet.
around with Kerbal for like a week, probably. You know what I mean? I'm always like, look, physics-based fun buildy, and then I'm like a week later, I'm like, I'm out. I want to play a Metroidvania.
Yeah, that sounds like you. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm excited for Midnight Suns. I'm excited for Tales, but who knows? Most of those are unnamed. They only named like 5 games, and half of them were sports games, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Hey, here's some big industry news.
We doing business?
I think we're gonna move to some business news.
We're of course qualified to do business because Anthony got his MBA on the streets.
Yeah, and Saige can practice law because she passed the bar in the state of Virginia.
Correct.
Keiji Inafune is back, Saige. Mega Man's daddy, as far as he says. Keiji Inafune, of course, has not had a lot of luck since striking out from Capcom. Mighty Number 9 did not do super well. His last big project was Recore for Microsoft.
Mhm.
Not a great game.
Have you heard of it?
Not a great game. His new thing, listen, it's a big project. He's back doing what he loves. He's making those good cartoon robots.
Wait. Chat, what do you think it is? What do you think he's making?
Can you guess?
Can you guess?
In disguise. Yeah, it's robots in disguise.
Right. Lanky Dragoon, Play Games Patty immediately came out the gate with the correct answers. Rev Cabot as well.
NFTs.
He's making NFTs.
Keiji Inafune, Mega Man's dad, after a run of bad luck, is creating a series of robot NFTs. They are called They are called something stupid. Hold on. Beastroids. They're called Beastroids.
You can't call it Roy.
Yeah, it's Beastroids. He's saying it's the first futuristic NFT collection integrated with incredible utilities.
You should get that checked out, man. You can't
just do
No,
now.
that's real. I'm also reading this on the article. That's actually what they're called.
They're Beastroids.
I wish that was something funny that we'd thought of. We could never be that funny.
Here's Hippo Launcher. He's Beastroid number BR005. There are 2,000 of these things. Now, they say that they have incredible utility, but so far, apparently, all these NFTs do, aside from letting you own a JPEG, a copy of a JPEG, is you'll get to attend virtual social events with Keiji and Inafune. Now, listen, in 2008, that sounds like a good prize.
Bro, you can't pay me to hang out with NFT bros. I'm not paying to hang out with NFT bros.
If you paid me in 2008, if like Mega Man 9 had just launched on WiiWare and you were like, come hang out with KJ and Inafune in the cyberspace, I'd be like, holy shit, it's all really happening. And now it's like, if you buy a JPEG of some hippo we didn't use in Mega Man X5 Diver Ultra Mobile, it's bad.
I love the evolution of what is happening right now, which is just like this weird, I'm getting too old for the industry I'm in my opinion, and nobody really likes my ideas anymore. If they're going to be mad at me anyways, I might as well pull a scam. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think, and you can argue that some of these people don't understand the scam, but they're not looking into it. They don't want to understand.
No.
KJ Inafune wants to collect his check up front and then his commission for selling the JPEGs of the robot hippos.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wants to do. This is a bummer. This is one of those how the mighty have fallen things. How the mighty number 9 have fallen. Am I right?
Hey, there you go.
It's a bummer to see KJ Inafune like this. One of the reasons he left Capcom is because he said, hey, the West is catching up. They will be the most popular market. We have to do more games that appeal to Western audiences. He tried to create teams within Capcom to do that, famously Clover Studios, who made a lot of really amazing and unique games. And Capcom just hated it. Just hated it. And you know what? He was right. He was right. And, Capcom is not the powerhouse they used to be because of it.
That's true.
So, I would imagine but the problem is, some of these guys, they go off on their own and they're these iconoclastic creators.
Right.
But they don't realize how much their support staffs were doing for them.
Yeah.
And, the mighty number 9 in particular was such a cluster. They took on so much. And they had no idea how they were going to pay it off. Recore clearly had a lot of big dreams and no technical know-how behind it. And so it's a bummer to see this stuff happen.
And now he's got Beastroids.
Now he's got the Beastroids though, and bro, to the moon. Beastroids to the moon.
He didn't even make it Beast Droids.
No.
Beast Droids. If you would put a D in there, you could have saved everything.
Beastroids.
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 Speaking of how the mighty have fallen,
it's steroids in a chewable.
Right.
For the thick neck weightlifter boys who are scared to swallow a pill or if they can't see a needle, they get a chewable gummy steroids.
See, there's one side that's steroids and there's one side that's much worse that it makes me think of, but that's beside the point.
Yep. Yep.
Speaking of how the mighty have fallen, I actually want to do something that we did not have planned, that I just unfortunately had to remember was a thing. Also, shout out to Omar, who is in the chat, who told me about this yesterday and hurt my feelings. Snoop Dogg has endorsed Rick Caruso for mayor.
NFT enthusiast Snoop Dogg?
Now, look, is Snoop Dogg the greatest sellout of all time? Yeah. And has it ever bothered us?
No. Except now.
Except for now. Even when Snoop Dogg did NFTs, we're like, Snoop Dogg doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit.
FaZe Clan's Snoop Dogg. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
Much like Fortnite's Ariana Grande is FaZe Clan's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, pro gamer Snoop Dogg, who accidentally left his computer streaming for 2.5 days.
So funny.
Look, he's endorsing Rick Caruso. This is pretty localized news, so we're not going to drill down too hard, but Rick Caruso is a little mini Trump. He is a fucking real estate developer who has no fucking experience running anything ever in the world,
And is running for LA mayor.
because he's like, look at all these beautiful buildings I run. If
Yeah.
you've ever lived in a Caruso building, it's the same thing as living in a Trump building.
Correct.
They fucking suck. They treat their tenants poorly. Their shit
Their
is
staff worse.
awful. They treat their staff horribly. He owns malls. And we want to make him mayor because he says he's a fucking Democrat, and he's not.
No, he is absolutely right-wing garbage. And there are a lot of people too, like we talk about this being localized news, but like this has also been a larger conversation that has exceeded the affected people in Los Angeles, for instance. Because this is the wildest person to run for Los Angeles mayor
Yo.
in a hot minute.
Between this and the fucking Dr. Oz thing, what I need people to do is stop just voting for wealthy people or people from television because you know their names.
Don't
You've gotta
elect
stop-
billionaires.
You've got to stop doing this. He's running against Karen Bass. If you live in LA, vote for fucking Karen Bass. She's amazing. She's amazing, and she has tons of actual plans and procedures. She has worked on the city council. She's been part of the city and the city government for years and knows the things that LA needs to fix and has plans to address them. Fucking Rick Caruso is a billionaire who put $22 million of his own money into his own campaign simply so you don't know Karen Bass's name.
Yep. So fuck Rick Caruso, and unfortunately, even though we have really just let every weird thing that Snoop Dogg has done fly by, because he was just a weird old guy at this point, fuck Snoop Dogg for this.
Imagine selling all of the things that you sell against your clout and reputation as a fucking gangster rapper and voting for Rick Caruso.
What he said here was, you got my support. We're a part of whatever you're a part of, as far as bringing love to the community and keeping people there that were a part of the community.
Oh, yeah. That's what Rick Caruso's going to do. He's not going to call eminent domain on all of your asses and fucking tear down your buildings and kick you out of your neighborhoods. That's not Rick Caruso.
For those who have been to Los Angeles, he owns the Grove and the Americana, the two most expensive malls.
Those are the ones where if you want to live in a mall, you can.
Yeah.
Where the bottom floor is a mall that looks like Disneyland. And then the top 5 floors are you can live at the mall. Blah. Anyway, it sucks. Moving on. Sony has been not doing great lately, thanks to Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan, of course, CEO of PlayStation, sent out that super dope email.
That super dope email, in fact, being buried in just sentences upon sentences about his pets, and then going, "Hey, by the way, you can't speak out against abortion here. We have to respect the people that want to control women's bodies.
We can't listen. We gotta be tolerant of everyone. It's
Please, the people that play our games might want to impose on your body, and we have to let them.
If somebody wants to make sure that a woman dies from the complications of pregnancy, but also signs up for PS Plus Premium Alpha Omega 2, now
we have
with
to respect that.
Now with electrolytes, we have to respect their opinion. So we know that one of the studios that is now a wholly owned subsidiary of Sony is Insomniac. Great bunch of people, historically, who've made some wonderful games. And basically, Ted Price, apparently, this is not in the article, but Ted Price apparently got pretty pissed about this email and spoke to Jim Ryan and sent a private email. Ted Price did not release this email. This email was leaked to IGN by an employee. Ted Price said, "We're donating $50,000 to the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. And good news, Jim Ryan has said that PlayStation will match that donation for us.
He said, whoopsie, my capitalistic misogyny went public. Have some money.
But what I love is this was private, right? Like Ted Price clearly went to Jim Ryan and was like, you fucked up. My people are mad. Do you want another Spider-Man? If you want another Spider-Man.
Sony, boy, do you need another Spider-Man
These
game.
people are going to leave. And if they leave, I can't make the games that you paid us to make, you fucknut. So here's
That's
what
not quite what the email said. I will say that's not quite.
No. I'm saying I think this is what Ted Price said to.
I know.
Yeah. The email was like a paragraph that said, good news, we're donating, and Jim Ryan has decided to match it. But I think the subtext of that is, fuck you, my people are going to leave if you do things like this. What are you going to do to make it right? Put some money up. And so that's what happened. So now what they did say, though, is Ted Price was like, look, this is happening. We're doing this. You unfortunately can't say anything about it. And please, try not to comment super publicly on Jim Ryan's idiocy from here on out. If you've already commented publicly, great, but please try not to. Our fortunes are intertwined, unfortunately.
I disagree with that personally. I think that there's
part.
a way to there's a way of looking at the story which starts right now where it's just like, look at these good guys donating money. Wow. And then we have to do something that will cover our asses. An employee leaked this to IGN. I'm not going to say that I don't believe that that's a little bit suspicious and potentially an intentional leak that makes them look like very good people. Oh, we were just quietly going to donate money. I can't believe somebody leaked it. Why would somebody do that? I don't know if I believe that personally. And then saying, because we're donating this money, none of you employees that work here get to speak out about the fact that that man said something horrific.
That's
I think
the
this is
fucking
hush
thing.
money, and I don't agree with this at all.
Yeah, it basically, it was less that employees are not allowed, employees are not allowed to explicitly mention Insomniac or Sony in their social media stuff.
And this is the case with most employers. Most employers will have an anti-defamation clause within your contract of employment. It doesn't mean I think that it's okay, and I don't think that this $50,000 makes that okay in any capacity.
No.
I think that people have to be able to speak out, especially about the people that lead these massive fucking companies, in order for it to ever be a safe and reasonable place to work.
Yeah. No, that's the part of it that's like, that's the part of it that fucking sucks.
It's the part of it that invalidates the rest of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Apparently, this came after Insomniac sent a 60-page document to Herman Hulst, who's the head of PlayStation Studios, with messages from employees, basically how they felt about Jim Ryan's statement, how they wanted PlayStation to change their opinions and publicly make a statement in the reverse. So there's some stuff going on, but yeah, like you're saying, but at the end of it being like, hey, but don't say PlayStation in a bad way.
Right.
Which
if
is
we
like,
give this money, would you maybe stop tweeting about the fact that we've done something terrible?
Now,
would you maybe not leak more of our emails when we say something terrible in the future?
Now, Skywalker brings up something. How big is Sony and Insomniac? 50K from each of them. Now, I say 50K from Insomniac, I think is something.
Significant.
50K, the 50K match from PlayStation is like...
unimpressive.
Is like here, you
I found it in the couch.
Oh, you made 50 cents at your lemonade stand? Well, you worked so hard.
Let me
I'm going to
double
give you
that.
another 50 cents because hard work pays off.
Yeah, that is the equivalent of zero monies. I would agree, Jesse PB.
It definitely rounds down.
Yeah, and
what
50K just came from the marketing budget, right?
What this comes to is, what it really comes to is two things for me. Number one, Jim Ryan has to fucking say something.
Yeah.
Has to. There has to be some sort of public apology.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been suspiciously quiet. All they've been announcing have been pricing tiers. And number two, it's a weird reminder that so many of these studios have to work under somebody. Like, it's like the Blizzard thing. It's just like, fuck, and now we still have to come to work for this guy?
Yeah. So I believe there are tons of people, I'm sure, internally that have pushed really hard for things like these donations and stuff. Maybe they're on the Insomniac team. Maybe they're not. I also do know of the allegations that have been made about from women about Insomniac as well. They don't have a squeaky clean history.
No.
So with that in mind, though, I'm sure that there are people that worked very hard to even get this approved because these things don't happen easily, especially inside of a machine of that size. And absolute kudos to the people that I'm sure internally believe in this and work their ass off. No kudos go to Sony in this scenario.
Absolutely
is the main
not.
thing.
Absolutely not.
I am somebody that is of the strict belief that when people do something and it's a publicity stunt, right? And they do something good for charity, good was still done. I don't care if you did it for clout, really. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But like, if good was done, good was done. $100,000 went to this, reproductive rights organization. And I'm happy to see that.
It's better than a commercial.
Right.
You
But
know?
we don't give you pats on the backs, little claps, and good guy points.
No, not at all. And I think, I do think this was a thing where I think Sony was poked and shamed until they did something just so Insomniac can go, look, we made them do something at least.
And also, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody gets big claps about this. Like, caring about literally bodily autonomy of half the population, not impressive.
Yeah.
I want you to do it, but I don't want you to do it thinking that you've done something groundbreaking. These are human rights.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that these like little emails. We've said it before, we're going to say it again. These cowardly little things that billion-dollar corporations do to protect imaginary numbers on an imaginary ledger when literally only 20 to 30% of the country feels strongly in the opposite, and those people are not cool. Don't worry about them. There are a billion people in the world.
Right.
If you lose the worst of them, you lose the worst of them. What we know from the campaigns of these people over the last length of the internet is they scream boycott when they never supported you anyway.
They never supported you anyway.
The boycott when they never supported.
Right.
They'll say boycott and it's
People
like,
who are like, I'm never buying Nike again.
did you ever buy Nike before?
Right. And what did you buy? A shoe?
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah. So like, and these like writing campaigns, these like Twitter campaigns that like horrible people do to make it seem like they're a billion people when they're not. It doesn't matter.
They're just loud. That's
just loud.
all. We are running out of time here, but I don't want to leave it quite on that note. And I don't know what it is that we come back from with this. So maybe we just speed run a couple of stories.
Yeah, there's
a couple of quick stories.
There's a couple things that I think are very interesting.
Yeah.
First of all, in very exciting news for Anthony Carboni's,
I'm also very excited about this.
The Fifth Element is returning to theaters for its 25th anniversary. There are going to be 2 showings. This is going to be one of those Fathom events. There are going to be 2 showings of it. Sunday, June 26th, Wednesday, June 29th. And if you hang out after the movie, there will be a brand new Q&A with Luc Besson and some behind-the-scenes stuff. I fucking love The Fifth Element.
Great movie.
So much. It is everything to me. I love it to death.
I know. I'm very excited.
I am so excited to see it in the theater. I am not so excited for The Arrow of Time. And the fact that it's the 25th anniversary, that sounds wrong.
That a little long?
That's a little long.
Seem a little long?
Seems a little long. It's such a good film. It's such a good film. I watch it like regularly. And I'm just excited to go see it in the theater again. Another thing that I am tentatively and guardedly excited about,
I think that's a good way to describe it. A division of Disney Studios is working on a reboot of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, so 20th Century Fox or Fox or 20th Studios, whatever they are.
Is Disney.
Yeah, the Fox part of Disney still owns the rights to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or as the Y2Ks of us may know it, LXG. A terrible movie with some good moments based on a beautiful and hilarious Alan Moore comic of the same name. Basically, it's this Alan Moore comic where it's like, hey, America has all of these superheroes. What are the British superheroes? I'm British. Oh, it would be like our characters from literature, from like the original novels. So it's all of like, it's the Invisible Man and Captain Nemo and Alan Quatermain, and all of these characters come together to form like this. Oh, and Mina Harker, of course, come together to form basically a very British Justice League. The movie was not great. Hopefully, this movie could be great.
We've gotten a lot better at doing superhero stuff.
We certainly have. And Don Murphy, who was the producer of the original adaptation, is a producer on the new one. Hopefully that doesn't bode too poorly for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I watched LXG and I feel like it was a lot of studio notes more than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I think the bones were there. Oh God, this article mentions, I totally forgot that Tom Sawyer is in it, in the movie. They added Tom Sawyer because they were like, it needs an American. Otherwise, people won't like it. Fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't hold.
But
Also,
anyway,
a lot of the comic doesn't hold.
the people who are working on it are also currently developing Buck Rogers, a Buck Rogers movie with George Clooney, and they just came off of the Vampire Academy television series. So I'm excited. I'm guardedly optimistic.
Yeah, it is for Hulu, so I'm also thinking this is probably a series, but they haven't given us a lot of confirmation on...
They said it's a movie.
Did they?
Yeah, they say it's a film.
A Hulu film?
They say it's an
I
original...
know they've done them, but I
Yeah.
just don't think those are ever necessarily
now,
up to a great par.
Who knows? That may turn into a series, but right now it's a movie.
Yeah, this is very, very early in development right now, but I agree. I would rather see it as a series.
Yeah.
I would rather see it as a series with the like humor of a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, I think if it does well, I see no reason why it wouldn't become a franchise series or a television series. You know, like the movie is a pilot for the series. But we'll see.
If you are a Rick and Morty fan and you enjoyed that little anime short that they released a little while ago, they've officially ordered a Rick and Morty anime for Adult Swim.
Huh. It's coming from the Tower of God director. So that's something.
Right?
It's going to be a standalone series, but it's going to sort of like, you know, it's going to name check events and characters from the main series.
Yeah, it's a direct spin-off. They said the multiverse straddling exploits of Rick and the gang pose challenges to family bond. You know, it's literally the same descriptor as Rick and Morty, but they will rise to the occasion. It's such a life-affirming sight, and Jerry is no exception. I am honored to have been given an opportunity to tell a new story about this amazing family, and I hope you enjoy their adventures. That is from Sano.
The Rick and Morty Genocider, Rick and Morty vs. Genocider was a very, very, very good short. So I'm excited to see what they do with this.
Yeah, so far they have ordered 10 episodes for Adult Swim. I feel like Adult Swim's a pretty good landing place for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where Rick and Morty is, so that makes sense. They would keep doing it there.
And Adult Swim also has a pretty decent history with anime.
Yeah.
Toonami had some absolute slaps.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it. I think that's just about it.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll leave you for today. We definitely ran out of time for some things because we tend to get a little distracted. So maybe we'll have time to clue you in some more on Friday. We, of course, do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 8 a.m. If it is not 8 a.m. when this show starts where you are, please have your clock checked. Something is deeply, gravely wrong.
Have the clockman out. Call your local utilities commission and have the clockman out to check on your clock because something is terribly wrong. Now, we want to go ahead before we leave and thank everybody who supported us during the show today. But while we're doing that, Saige, what's your life about?
What is my life about? You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel, typically Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Today is going to be a little bit different because we have some stuff that we're filming later today.
Mm-hmm.
So you can catch us on Kinda Funny together very, very soon. You can catch me here on this channel. We had a new episode of the Boros Saga Bane's Break last night, and if you missed it, there's a vlog to catch up on, and it is also up on YouTube. What about you, Anthony?
Oh, my stars and garters. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. I will probably be on later this evening a little bit, so follow me there to see maybe a video party, maybe a little game, something. And then also, of course, This Friday, there will be a new episode of We Have Concerns, my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata.
Well, hey.
Well, hey.
There's so many ways that you can support the show. We are an entirely independent network, so everything that you do makes this possible. The number one way is showing up and watching. Literally, that's what we make the show for. We're so grateful that people get here and spend their mornings with us. You can also join the Discord. It's completely free. It's not subgated or anything. You can tell a friend about the show for free or tweet about it for free if you'd also like other people to enjoy it. That would be very cool, and that helps us a lot. But there are also the monetary ways that you can support us, like joining the Patreon, where you get a bonus clip every week that there is a show here starting at $5. And you can do things like subscribe. Things like subscriptions, bits, Patreon help make this show keep a running. It keeps the metaphorical and literal lights on here in the shed. And donations go to supporting your hosts directly.
Yay! So let's thank some people that helped us out during the show today. First of all, we've got Self-Aware Can Opener with the resub for 20 months saying shaving with a time knife. Hell yeah. Fraud Monet with the resub for 4 months saying, love you guys, stay excellent, you too. King Sassafras with the resub for 4 months, on a 4-month streak saying, only 4 months in, still not sure I like the host yet. I don't know.
I think you like us.
Seems like you might like us. Chafreakus with the resub for 6 months saying, it's too early, but is it too early for me to make hash browns? Never. Never. Lots of Kittens with the resub for 14 months saying 14 months already. Where's the time gone? Thank you, Anthony and Saige, for giving me something to look forward to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, thank you for coming, Lots of Kittens. We really appreciate you. And Darwin50 here at the last moment with the cheer. Thank you, Darwin50. We really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. We will see you on Friday. Until then, we love you, BBs.
Goodbye, friends.